Dear content creator, if you're only networking in the DMs, then you're leaving major opportunities on the table. Have you ever wondered how some content creators seem to always know the right people, are landing brand deals, or are finding themselves on cool panels or collabs? Well, it's because they show up, literally. In today's episode, we're breaking down why attending events as a content creator isn't optional, but is a game changer to help you with building meaningful connections, accelerating your growth, and opening doors that the algorithm never could do. Let's dive in. What up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Dear Content Creator. I am your host, Karis Maggie. Thank you all for tuning into another episode. If you are a regular listener, you might have realized that last week I didn't have an episode uploaded. Your girl was under the weather, but I am here today, y'all. I am here. We have filed our taxes and we are feeling great about the results of that. If you did not listen to my episode about the different ways you can prepare yourself as a content creator for tax season, highly recommend that you go and check it out. I feel like I was literally speaking from personal experience of all the life lessons that I've learned along the way so far. Because when I tell you, when I heard back from my accountant how well your girl was doing, I was like, thank you, Jesus. This is the news I want to hear. So definitely go listen to that episode. And y'all, there's just a lot going on right now. If you are someone who lives in Canada, hey, I am a Canadian content creator. The hope of this podcast is to bring more awareness to Canadian content creators like myself. And we had a pretty eventful couple of days, y'all. It was a bit stressful. I'm not gonna lie to you. We had our election. So we have a new prime minister. The Liberals won. I'm not about to turn this into a whole political debate or anything. All I can say is I'm glad that is over. And what I am looking forward to is I hope that we can basically work collaboratively with the things that we say we want to do to make Canada better and stronger. Because at this point, there are so many things that are happening. We know what's going on with our neighbors and all the threats for being like 51st states or whatever the case might be. So it's like, yeah, let's focus on what we can do to like just make Canada a great place for all of us who are here to live. And yeah, that is my biggest hope, y'all. And I'm doing my part in keeping myself aware, volunteering when I can, speaking up for issues that I want to see more work being put into. I know this was a very confusing, I would say, election season for many people. Some people were just really learning how this whole thing really works, the different responsibilities of the different levels of government. It was very interesting to watch. And the aftermath of the results, y'all, I have been trying to keep myself offline so that I'm not arguing with nobody and them granny. But today, we are going to talk about the importance of going to events as content creators. There are a lot of strategies that I have used in attending events that have helped me with some of the goals I have as a content creator. And I've always seen like conversations online like, hey, y'all, is it worth going to creator related events? And I think that's what I want to like cover in today's episode. How can you assess what is an event that is worth you going to? Also, looking for ways to go to events that are not just creator related. Like an event doesn't have to be creator related for you to go to it and find value and network and be in the rooms with, the right people, so that opportunities that can come along later on can open up to you afterwards. So let us get into it, y'all. So 2023 is around the time I would say that I was going to events a lot. And this was simply because I had a lot of time on my hands then, y'all. It was about the time where I got laid off, or the year before I had gotten laid off. I was still laid off at this point. So it was like almost 2 years that I was like unemployed. And for me, going to events, whether it was career related, creator related, entrepreneurship related, like I tried to find events that I had some sort of interest in based on different likes and interests that I had for me to meet people and just put myself out there, other than putting myself out there online, which I have always been doing as a content creator for the past almost 9 years now. Going to events, actually showing your face, showing up, meeting people, talking to them is a different kind of vibe. And what made me want to put myself out there even more is that I realized during the pandemic, a lot of us were so comfortable with just connecting with people online. There was no reason for you to go out. So everyone was like basically conversating and connecting via DMs. But I found that over time, as things were opening up, less and less people are like taking the time to connect via DMs. And it's really in going to events that you're getting to meet people and network. I personally was able to meet a lot of people that I've met online through going to a lot of these events since 2023. And so for me, I've just learned that there are different types of events that can serve different purposes. So I've gone to trade shows. When I was getting married, I went to the Canada's Bridal Show. And even though I went 3 times, the 3 times that I went was for different purposes. First time around was for me to explore, see what's out there, get some deals. Also just to go there as a bride to be at the time to see what are the vendors that are there, what are the deals that they have, also to see what the show was like. And then I decided to go again the following year. So they usually have it in the fall and in the winter. So that's what I did. And then once I was already married, I found myself going to the events so that I could meet vendors. You never know what kind of opportunities are at these trade shows. You could be meeting the founders for some of these companies or the marketing person and just having conversations with them, swapping contacts, different things like that. It can lead to other opportunities. So that is like one of the strategies that I use when I want to be able to meet brands and not rely on just, sending them a DM that they probably will never read, or it's the social media team that's reading it, so they don't really have any decisions around influencer marketing related stuff. So they kind of ignore any messages that have to do with that. Especially if I also reach out to someone on LinkedIn and I find that I won't really get them to reply back to me. I try to go to events that I know that they will be at for me to introduce myself, talk to them, and then we can, kind of build a relationship, a rapport. And then later on the line, if opportunities come up, at least I have myself out there being known to them. Now, I'm not saying that by you going to the events one time or this one opportunity is just going to come to you just because you attended the event once. Like, that's not what I'm saying. So I don't want that to be kind of like misconstrued. I'm saying that just like building a relationship, whether it's a friendship, romantic, it takes time, it takes nurturing. You have to find ways to put yourself in settings that you are able to meet the people that you want to connect with. That is what I'm basically saying. So yeah, I've gone to creator focused events. There was one that I went to that was hosted by a talent management agency that mainly deals with talent, managing of talent in Canada, like for influencers. I went to an event that they hosted, and it was like a full day event with fireside chats and panel discussion just to hear from creators just like myself who are doing the damn thing, hearing from their experiences. But also they brought experts from like Pinterest. Sometimes it varies. I think one year I went, it was Pinterest, there was Snapchat. So you can find people who are from the industry or the platforms that you are posting on. They'll have individuals who are coming there, and it's just a great opportunity for you to like meet these people and have a conversation with them, even if it's a quick hello, connecting on LinkedIn, and then you can follow up with them. I don't want to ramble too much, so I'm just going to basically talk about what are some of the benefits of attending events. Now, obviously, most of us, when we go to events, it is for the sake of being able to network with others, especially if you're going to a creator event. A lot of us know how lonely big cities can be. It's so funny. The bigger the city, the more isolating it can feel as a content creator. It's kind of really wild how it happens, but that has been my reality. And when I've spoken to other creators, that's kind of what they tell me as well. The place can be that big, but you can still feel so isolated. And so for me, going to events and being able to meet people, I try to go to different types of events so that I can meet people in a more organic and authentic way where I don't feel too out of place. So I remember there was an event I went to. This was hosted by YouTube at it was Concept and YouTube, a collaboration between them. And basically what they were doing was that they had a space that was available for content creators to come for like an office day where you just come and do some work. Whatever it is you're working on, whether you're coming with friends who are content creators like you and you guys are working on content together, or you are working on content on your own. I went to that event by myself. That's one thing about me too. I am going to go to an event by myself if I have to. I'm not going to wait on anybody for me to decide if I'm going or not. And I remember I went to this event and there were 2 other people I met at this event. They also came by themselves. And we just had very genuine conversations. And I'm glad to say that today, those genuine conversations translated to us actually being in touch. We're friends. We will meet up for dinner. And that was just simply from me deciding to go to an event for creators and just seeing what would happen. And we have been able to help each other out so much. One of them, so her name is, I'm going to plug her actually. She has a YouTube channel where she does like commentary on pop culture and all of those things. And she does really great videos. Her YouTube channel is Enki's World. And we are always talking about everything under the sun. If a new TV show came out, we're checking in with each other. Did you watch it? We're having discussions about some of the things that happen within pop culture, giving our opinions as well. And then we also talk about like struggles that we face as content creators. I remember when tax season was coming up and both of us were stressing about, the possibility of how much money we will owe, like little stuff like that, It's not just always about making friends with content creators because you just want to collab. Not everything has to always be straight to I'm going to this event to meet creators so I can collab with them. And I think that's where a lot of us get it wrong and mess up, is that our intentions for going to these events we're not thinking about the bigger picture. It's just so like surface level. I'm going to make friends so that we can collab. Here's the thing. Any relationship takes time to build on. And so people have to be comfortable with you. You also need time to see what shared interests that you guys even have before you can do a collab. What is the vibe like? What will a collab look like? I personally don't like to just meet people and then straight out the gate, I'm doing a collab. Like, no, I need some time to get to know you. So that is one of my friends. And then the other one, she has a freelance company that she does like creative work with people. And she was very instrumental in actually helping me launch my podcast. So all the promo and stuff like that I did for my podcast, she helped me out with that. Nabs, Malika darling, Nabs. So all of this is just to say that be very intentional with when you're going to events. So yes, you want to go to events to network. What does that mean? Everyone says the word networking, but we don't know how to network. You know what I mean? For me, when I say that I'm going to network, for me, it's really about connecting with people who have shared interests. And in the process, I'll also meet some cool people that we don't necessarily have to have a shared interest. But hey, if we vibe, and we'll see where it goes. There's no pressure. There's no pressure to stay in touch. There's no pressure to follow each other. It's like, if we want to, we will type of deal. So that's the first thing, or the first benefit of going to creator events. The second benefit is that depending on the event that you go to, so there are different levels to events too, right? So depending on the event you go to, some events might be free, some events might be paid. And so I have been to a range of both. I have gone to events where I have invested my money and I paid my money to go. Sometimes what I would also do is, if I know it's like a trade show related type of event or a conference, I find ways to see if I can get like a media pass, because as a content creator, you can get media accreditation, and I do what is required of me in terms of being a media partner. And that is how I've been able to go to events like Restaurant Canada. What's the other one? Collision. Well, we no longer have Collision, but like the biggest tech conference in North America, it's now called Web Summit. That is one event that I've been able to go to 2 years in a row, or 3 years, I think. Either 2 or 3 years in a row with a media pass. So I didn't have to pay any money for that. What other events that I've gone to like that? There have been a few where I've basically looked to see if they have media applications available, and then I will apply. And that's how I will get my ticket to attend. And for me, it's about, if I'm not able to invest the money and I get to get a ticket via a media pass, I'm getting insider information. So a lot of these events would have people who are sharing like insights that you probably wouldn't really be able to find with just a simple Google search, because they are keeping you up to date on like trends that are happening. This is very common, especially for like tech conferences and things like that. It's always going to be discussions about what is currently trending. Here are the things you need to know, etc. And so I have invested in like a range of events like that, both creator or tech events. And sometimes maybe it's like super specific related to my niche, because again, I go to the events so I can get access to meeting certain brands that I maybe want to learn more about what they do, what are their products and services, actually getting to speak to somebody that I can then follow up with afterwards to see how we can work together and collab. So yeah, insider info is like a big one. There was actually an event I went to last year and the year before. It's called Buffer Festival. And this event is more on the creator focus side. And it is basically a 3-day creator event where they highlight the work of content creators who have films that they have done. You get to premiere it and see it and things like that. But they also have a full day that's like focused more on panel discussion, hearing from content creators. You would have a session where you're hearing from the head of YouTube Canada. Sometimes I remember that we had a session with TikTok Canada. So those events usually will require you to invest some money. And so I would recommend, as a content creator, again, because you are running a business, don't forget that, try and budget for the year as well, the different events that you might want to go to, so that you can invest in them when the time comes around. What else? Kind of following up to the first, one of the first things I said, I use like going to events like trade shows and things like that so I can get on brands' radars. Now, I'm not saying again that it's just going to happen like instantly, but it does allow you to be on the brand's radar, because now a lot of brands are being more aware of how they can collaborate with content creators. They're more, once upon a time, if you were to go to a trade show and you're telling a brand, oh, I'm a content creator, or oh, I'm an influencer, they might look at you like, what is that? But now they like actually understand the power and the value in working with content creators. So you have like some sort of, you have already piqued their interest in that regard, right? Is basically what I'm saying. Also, similar to getting insider info, you're just able to understand where the industry is going. So, as I said, a lot of the information that you will see online sometimes, especially like YouTube, a lot of it will be from the opinions from people who have done their own personal research or testing with their own content or their own brand. And then they kind of make YouTube videos to give updates on, here's what I think. Going to these events allows you to know what is shifting in the industry. So I'll give you guys a perfect example of an event I went to, or actually 2 events. I went to an event last year that was called Content Canada. Now, this is the event for filmmakers, producers, anyone who's interested in the film industry. This is the event that you would want to attend. Now, you're probably wondering, all right, Maggie, you're a content creator. What are you doing going to a film festival or like an event that is for filmmakers and producers, etc.? Well, I have the answer for that, y'all. So last year, I was able to release a project that I was working on for about a year or so. And I was able to get funding from the government for this particular project. I'll actually do an episode on this at another date, talking about like getting funding for your project, because more and more opportunities are there for content creators to be able to get funding towards projects that they have, etc. So there was this particular project I have been working on. It's called Kitchens of Toronto. It is a docu-food series and it's focused on the ethnic food scene in Toronto. And so by going to this event called Content Canada, I was able to actually pitch to like what you could say like studios and producers, like people who I could collab with bringing this thing that I'm doing to the next level. I also got to be inside of panel discussions and keynote speakers that talked about changes in the industry that allowed me as a content creator who's trying to kind of bridge my, like, fill the gap for myself into filmmaking and what that looks like and understanding that side of the industry. I was able to get all of that information from that event. So there are certain things that when I started out this project, I wasn't privy to. I wasn't aware. I didn't have mentorship on some of these things too. And so that event allowed me to get more insights on where the industry is going. And this would include what kinds of projects are they interested in. So that would let me know, okay, if reality TV is what is kind of popular right now, that is what they are going to be looking for when it comes on to like licensing and buying and purchasing. I also got to know more information like what are they currently doing? Like, are they paused on buying stuff? How does Canada's film industry work versus the States? All of these things I would not know by just going on YouTube, because even specifically for Canadian content, you won't find a lot of information about it on like online just like that. So that was my reason for going to that event, and I got a lot of like gems from it. I did vlog it. I am yet to edit that vlog, but hopefully we can do that very soon. So that is one example of one. Another example is I went to an event called TO Webfest, and this is a film festival in Toronto where filmmakers, producers can submit their work, and it is screened, and they have awards, and sometimes they'll give away prizes. Sometimes it's in the form of money and things like that to help people, or it's in kind. And I went to it in 2023, and I was able to learn about film festivals. What are the benefits of entering your projects into film festivals, because they can help get you on radars for producers to be interested in you, different things like that. And I also was able to win a prize at one of the events where I got a membership for a Women in Film membership. So it was the Toronto Women in Film membership that I got a 1-year membership to. Again, all of this, I would not know that this organization existed to begin with if I didn't attend this event. And I would not know about all of the film festivals that are out there that I could enter my project, what the process would look like, all of these things. I wouldn't know about it if I didn't attend this event. Fast forward to today. So we're in 2025 now. After my project came out in 2024, I submitted it to a couple film festivals that it was eligible for. It was a total of, I think, 7 film festivals or 9 that I entered. Only 5 of them I was able to get a nomination for. And out of, was it 5? I think 6 I got nominations for. And then I ended up winning 5 prizes. One of which is for the LA Web Fest. The project won Best Pilot. Okay. And I'm going to give a shameless plug for myself. So I'm going to put the link in the description box so y'all can check out what that project is all about and see what, all the hype around it was for it to be an award film award-winning project. So I am an award-winning producer, y'all. Yes, put respect on my name. Another reason to go to events is that honestly, I don't know for anybody else, but there's nothing that inspires me more than being around people who just get it. You know, like I know a lot of us can relate to the fact that we do have maybe friends or family that support us. They don't truly understand what it is that we do, but they will support us. But the thing is that they don't always understand what it is that we're doing, what we're going through, the challenges we're facing. And so for me, going to events has really allowed me to build communities around me. I did talk to you guys about, some friends that I met at a YouTube event, how we are like so connected and close right now. I have other friends that are very similar in that way. There is like another group chat I have with three other amazing women who are also podcasters. So we shared a bond for everything podcasting, which just evolved into other things that we just love to talk about. We've shared our ups and downs in just life as a whole. We support each other, we cheer each other on, and we go to events together as well and just build our own like supportive community for ourselves. So shout out to Shirley, Chid, and Michelle, my gal them. Sometimes you just need people who get it. And I find that when I go to events like this, it allows me to really see the people who are out there, because sometimes it can feel like you are alone. You're probably the only one doing this or that. Then you meet other people and it's like, no, there are other people out here. You just have to know where to find them. And who knows, that can eventually build into something else for you. You never know what can happen. These are all of the benefits. And last but not least, it allows you to also see where you fit in. So if you are especially like a niche creator, there can be very niche events for you to attend where you're meeting people who are more within your industry. You're being able to network with those people. And when you're thinking about collaborations, at least you know where to start to look for people for those collaborations. One thing I have been noticing, especially as a content creator here in Toronto, I've been seeing a lot of my fellow content creators in the finance space doing a lot of collabs together, and it's lovely to see. So what they'll do is they'll team up to do giveaways of products that they have, and everyone comes together to give something from, their digital product or coaching, etc. And all you have to do is follow them. You enter the giveaway and it's a win-win. They get some brand recognition from us who maybe we knew about one finance creator, but we didn't know about the other person. And now we know about that person and we're following them and keeping up with, the tips and stuff that they're giving. So it's really cool, y'all. Really, really cool stuff. But I think I have made my point. I don't want to beat a dead horse, as they would say. But I want to segue into the creator scoop segment. It has been a while, y'all, since we have done this segment. So let's get into it. Okay, y'all, so we do have a couple of events that are upcoming. It is getting warm and nice outside. The birds are chirping, the sun is shining. So coming up on May 3rd, actually this Saturday. So by the time you're listening to this podcast, it would be this weekend that is coming up. And it is by Soul Plug. It is the creator workshop with content creator Eufoma. I hope I'm saying her name correctly, but it's all about building a 6-figure business as a creator. Now, what I know about this content creator in particular is that she's a travel creator who's been able to make 6 figures from just being a content creator. And so it's going to be like a fireside chat to talk about her experience, her giving tips and all of that. Especially if you're someone who tired of getting paid with free products or with gifted PR, you want to start making some money. This is definitely an event that you want to attend. So that is going to be on May the 3rd, that's Saturday. And I have a coupon for y'all to use if you would like to attend. So if you would like to attend, you get 15% off if you use my code DCC-15. Again, that's DCC-15. Use that code at checkout for 15% off of your ticket. Now, for all my fellow podcasters, I know y'all, We don't really have a lot of events for podcasters. So finally, there is one that is actually coming back. I went to this event last year. Amazing. Highly recommend that you guys check it out. It is called the Sound Wave Summit. And this event is going to be held on May the 4th. So that is on the Sunday. Okay. If you want all the details for these events that I'm talking about, please go ahead and click the link in the bio, not the link. Yeah, click the link in the bio or in the description box, I should say, because you're watching this on your, YouTube or your podcast listening platform. So all of it will be in the show notes for you. And for this event, it's going to be like a full day event talking about everything having to do with podcasting, from learning how to monetize your podcast and getting partnerships. You'll also learn mastering, editing, and sound design. Lots of cool stuff, y'all. So I definitely recommend that you pull up to this one. Link in the show notes for you if you would like to attend. And the very last event that I want to plug, y'all, this is actually more on the entrepreneur related side, and that I am. And I am going to be a speaker at this event, y'all. So this is the Black Builders Networking event. It is happening May 6th. So that's next Tuesday. It's going to be happening. And this is going to be in Mississauga. So if you would like to attend that event as well, come see me talk, share my experience, my entrepreneurship experience and journey. The link is going to be in the show notes for you to attend. So as I said, y'all, outside is getting nice. People are going out and the events are starting to pop up. So be ready, y'all, is all I can say. All right, y'all. So we're going to wrap up this episode. We already talked about the benefits of attending events. I gave you some of my quick little hacks of how I attend events for free as well, whenever I probably don't really have the cash for some of these expensive ones. Like, I actually went to an event that was like, it's actually like over $600 for the ticket, and I got it for a free because I went as media. So this is just to give you some examples. Like, you can find ways to attend events as a content creator. You just got to be strategic about it. And also, I'm always here to answer questions that you guys have. Some of you have asked me how I attend events, and I always am open and tell you guys. Now, yes, the benefits of attending events, but it can be intimidating. I understand. So what I would advise you, I'm going to give you 3 tips of how you can prepare yourself for going to events. Whether you are extrovert or an introvert, there will be times when attending events and meeting new people, regardless of who you are, will just be a bit intimidating. So the first advice I would give is try to start small. Try and find little events here and there that allows you to feel a bit more comfortable. It might not be too big of a crowd. It's more intimate. There are a lot of events that are out here. You can find them on Eventbrite, for example. And what you can usually find is these would be like content creation days, or they are like little get-togethers, or you can hit me up. I'm always down for like going to events with people too. So if you want a little friend to come along, that would be like the second advice I would say. Find a friend who, both of you have similar content creation goals, and so they would be down for attending. And even if they can't attend, I highly recommend don't let anyone not being able to attend stop you from going to an event, okay? The third thing I would say is wear something that makes you feel bold or helps you stand out. So for me, my trick is always to wear bright colors, or I have very interesting hairstyle for the like something about what is on me will just draw people in to want to come speak to me if I initially feel intimidated, because that does happen to me sometimes, y'all. I'll go to an event and I feel so out of place and I'm like, I'm ready to go home, but then someone comes up to me, they introduce themselves, we're hitting it off, and everything is jiggy again. So I have found that works for me a lot. So my advice or my challenge to you is put yourself out there, get out of your comfort zone. It's time to leave the house, y'all. We cannot be able to get a lot of the opportunities that we're speaking about if we're not strategically networking. And one of the best ways to do that is to go out, meet people, tell them who you are, but also be receptive to learning about them, what they do, because you never know. You never know who you can meet out there. Now, I do have a newsletter that I try to send out stuff frequently. So if you're someone who's looking for more event related updates like this, but also tips here and there for content creators, recommendations, all of that, I highly suggest that you subscribe to my newsletter. The link will be in the show notes and in the description box below. Thank you all for listening to today's episode. I am so grateful for you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in another episode. Bye.